Welcome to How to Cook. My name's Bill Cook, and today we are going down the rabbit hole of In and Out. This is gonna be interesting because this is a lot harder than you think it is. I'm gonna make spread. Yeah, there's no spread left. I used it all. I'm gonna show you how to make that. I'm gonna show you how to make their buns. Well, sort of. I'm gonna show you alternatives on how to make the spread and the buns. And then we're gonna make this. I'm sorry, is that not a double-double? Come on, look at that. That's a double-double. I stole the wrapper, but I swear to God I just made this. If you watch this video, I can prove it. And we get fries. And that right there, that blurry object, hopefully I figured out how to make that blurry. That's the secret right there. I'm gonna show you how to make that. Because that is worth this entire video. All right, if you don't know what an In and Out is, in the next, I don't know, 3 to 35 minutes, however long this video ends up being, you're gonna find out. If you do know what In and Out is, this can't come fast enough. So let's get started. What is the most important thing to get right with In and Out besides everything? That's right, everything else. No, it's the spread. People are nuts about the spread. It is not dressing, it is not a burger sauce, it is spread. And it is essentially Thousand Island, but not exactly. You may notice something interesting. If you look at the back of the packet, maybe I'll have it here, you can get the packets of it. It says 0 sugar. Every recipe for this says sugar. You can't even use regular ketchup. It has to be sugar-free. That's weird. No one has that right, apparently, and that's why everybody complains that the recipe doesn't come out quite right. So, what do? We start with 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. You can use Thousand Island, by the way. Many people do. It is so close, it's hard to tell the difference. However, if you're a stickler like me, and you have to know that you have this as right as it can be, then here you go. I mean, this In and Out is legendary. There's a cult following on this. Come on. You can't be close. You have to be right. We're making our own buns. We're grinding our own meat. I'm making my own sauce. Of course I am. I grew my own tomatoes. Come on. Kidding, I did not do that. I don't have a garden at the moment with which to be able to do that. So, I didn't do that. All right. 3 tablespoons. 3 very messy tablespoons of me making a horrible mess here. That sounds like a plan. All right. There are 4 ingredients in this. That was one of them. Even though it's 3 tablespoons, it's only 1 ingredient. What's the next ingredient? Our ketchup. This is, like I said, sugar-free ketchup. Trader Joe's makes a much better version of this if you happen to have a Trader Joe's near you. Okay, that just shot absolutely everywhere. That's hilarious. I'm making a mess. Okay, this is sauce. That is art. There we go. Okay, that's a complete and total mess. All right, so what do we need now? We need 2 teaspoons of relish. What kind of relish? Well, both kinds, basically. You need dill relish and sweet relish, equal parts. That's because I think when the Snyders came up with this back in 1948, they thought, we're going to make this as complicated as possible so that, you know, nobody ever figures it out entirely. Sounds about right to me. Okay, so we got a tablespoon of teaspoon, sorry. That is way more. This has to be right. This isn't guessing here, folks. This is science. People have dissected this. They've run the spread through a fine mesh sieve to figure out exactly the ratios of all this stuff. And I believe a lot of what they say as far as how much of this goes in here in the stuff. When you measure the calorie content and whatnot, it'll tell you how much fat there is and how much ketchup there is and all that kind of stuff. Those folks are serious, but they always get the sugar thing wrong, or a lot of the recipes do. Okay, so that's a teaspoon each of both sweet relish and dill relish each. Okay, that's 3 ingredients. Even though there's 2 kinds of relish, it still only counts as 1. What's the 4th ingredient? Half a teaspoon of white distilled vinegar. That's it, folks. That's your sauce right there. Your spread, sorry, spread. We're just gonna mix this up really, really, really good. And unfortunately, I have a fork. Let me get a better thing for this. Yeah, a little better. Get all that stuff off of there. Scrape down our sides real good. Yeah, give this a stir. How's that look? Does that look like our stuff? It certainly does. Now we are going to have to let this sit for a little bit because it'll kind of meld the flavors a little bit better, which is perfect because we're still waiting on the buns. So there you go. Do this ahead of time or just use Thousand Island. It's up to you. But yeah, this is a little bit runnier, which is about perfect for theirs. Let's take a taste test. If you've had the animal fries with that sauce all over it, man, dang, there you go. Not that I'm surprised. I did my research. I know what I'm doing. But that is the recipe for the spread. There you go. That is as close as you can come to it without the exact recipe, which is hidden lock and key. That is one of the most closely guarded secrets behind Coca-Cola, Pepsi, those sorts of things. This may even be harder, and if you ever want to know Kentucky Fried Chicken's recipe, go to the original store, the location. Above the door on the way out is the recipe written on a plank above the door. In case you're wondering what those 11 herbs and spices in the Kentucky Fried Chicken, it's on the wall. Not even joking. It really is. So that is close. Again, if you don't want to do that, Thousand Island. Just saying. There you go. All right, moving on. Now, In Out's buns are pretty unique. They're a little bit strange, and the place that makes them is known as Puritan Bakery in Carson, California. They brag about their sponge method of making all their bread and things. So I'm using a sponge dough here for this to try and duplicate what they came up with. And this is a recipe that I had to come up with. There is nothing anywhere. There is no hint as to how exactly they make it. But this is a combination white bread and hamburger bun dough that I did make a couple of modifications to as we go along here. But basically I've got 240 grams of bread flour going in here. I've got 2.5 teaspoons of yeast, instant yeast, and 283 grams of water in this. We just mix this up, put some plastic wrap on this, and then this sits on the counter like this for 6 to 24 hours. And while it does its thing, when it's done and it's doubled in size, we go put the dough hook on our mixer and we start mixing. Now we've got all the rest of our ingredients. We've got our salt, we've got a couple tablespoons of shortening that was softened, we've got 1 egg going in this, and 3 tablespoons of sugar going in this. That is going to make our dough, basically. We put the rest of the flour in as well, the other 240 grams. I initially didn't put enough flour in this and I had to add to it, so I adjusted my numbers here accordingly because I had to add another 60 grams. So yeah, baking, you gotta know math. And they said you didn't need to learn math in school. Well, I guess you do if you want to make really good bread or any kind of dough or anything like that, because flour is weird and it has to be weighed out. You're looking for exact proportions, and it is very important. All right, so here I'm adding the extra flour because it was just too wet a dough. So I'm adding another 30 grams right now to see if that's it. And it turns out it's going to need the full 60. So we're just going to fast forward a little bit here because this is boring as hell. Once you get it right and the right thing, it'll start flopping around. You'll need this for about another 5 minutes. And basically, that is the basis of our dough. We've got 2 more proofings to do on this before we're ready to stick them in the oven. and then we're gonna have to shape them and all the other stuff before. So in order to get this right, there's a lot of stuff we got to do and make sure that we get it perfectly, because we're trying to duplicate In and Out. This is not an easy task. They know what they're doing. There's a reason they're so good. All right, once the dough ball has kneaded in the mixer, we're going to bring it on the counter and we're just going to shape this a little bit. It's slightly tacky, but it's pretty good. When putting this in an oiled bowl like this, this is going to get covered with plastic wrap and sit for another hour in proof and double. When we bring it out, we're going to punch it down. There's some air bubbles in here, so we're going to punch that down, and then we're going to start shaping this, which means we have to cut this into the individual buns. This is where I screw this up, because I made 8 buns and I should have made 12. These are way too big. So what you need to do is just divide this out into many more pieces, and then it's perfect. Now, how do you shape the buns? If you ever shaped little buns like this, it is kind of a little bit of a trick. Basically, you start with a flat hand and you cup your hand as you go, and it will rise up in your hand. When you stop, look for any seams or creases. If you have those, you're not done yet. Keep going until you get it all folded, and that's basically it. Now, these are going to go onto our pan with parchment paper, cover it with plastic again and a towel, let it rise 1 more hour before we put our wash on there. Now, it is not an egg wash. That's the other thing. It is a milk wash. So just get this done with the milk. Just pat them down. This goes in the oven 400 degrees, about 11 and a half minutes. I've got a water bath in there to help steam the buns. That makes them great. And that's how you make the buns. So our hamburger buns are out of the oven. Took about 11 minutes, and those aren't right. You may notice something. If you're a aficionado, first of all, they're glorious and they're gorgeous and they're amazing, and I can't wait to eat these because they just look super awesome and yummy, but they're not right. I made 8. This probably would have made 12, because the thing about it's a cheap hamburger, but it's a small hamburger. So that is not the right size. Which brings me to an excellent point. This is a heck of a lot of work to come up with an amazing bun. I'm going to cut into this right now, but I will tell you in a second how we're going to fix this problem. I have the world's oldest bread knife. Oh, it's a Jesus original. Yeah, that's how old this thing is. I mean, it's not the world's oldest. I mean, he's not like the oldest guy there ever was. So obviously there were people before, but none of their bread knives survived. So I'm just saying, this one's pretty old, and it's not sharp. What it is really wide, and for me, cutting stuff like this, I like having the extra thickness because it keeps you from wandering as you're cutting. At least in my experience. There. This is, oh, God, it smells so good. And that is an amazing bun. That is an amazing hamburger bun right there. Yeah, it's got a little pocket in it. That's where all the flavor goes. We're not worried about that. It's perfect. These are incredible. But that is not an In-N-Out bun in the slightest bit. It's a good bun. And I'm going to use them for other things, but for a bigger burger, these patties are pretty small. So it's going to be like this little teeny thing. No, we're not going to do that. So what is our backup plan? And this was always going to be part of the video because this takes 2 days to make these. 2 days. And if you are going to do that, just break it up into 12 pieces, not 8. And they will come out okay. And I will put a milk wash on it instead of an egg wash, and it will come out a little bit better on the color, because that is really, really dark. It's not hard, so it's perfect, but it's really, really dark, even though they're still so soft and pillowy inside. They're amazing. So what's our backup plan? What should you do if you want to make this? Don't use potato buns. They are 100% wrong. This is a white bread sponge recipe, so you got to use something like that. What is that? Yeah, these basically work. Again, there's so much of the In-N-Out world that has just become normal. At the time, they had to invent all this stuff. Now, we just have it because it's become such a part of the world that you don't have to reinvent this stuff, like Thousand Island dressing. It's 99% the same. Wonder Bread buns. This style of classic hamburger bun, this thing here, they're first of all, they're just about the perfect size. And I'll show you the difference here in half a second. These are slightly squished because these have actually been in my cupboard here for a little bit. So it's a little squished. It lost a little bit of its height. But that is the size that you're looking for. And this really does look like it. See the difference? Can you see the difference? It's a little different. I mean, it's not significantly smaller, but it's enough so that it's really going to throw it off. The biggest thing is the height. Look at this. Do you see a difference between those two? I do too. So this is what it looks like when you get an In Out double-double. That is what it looks like when you go to a fancy restaurant and get a hamburger because it's fancy. So we're going to use these. You can do that too and save yourself 2 days of work because it's, again, 99% is good. No one's going to know the difference. Just use the Wonder Bread. There you go. Moving on. The other thing that makes In Out always stand out is the vegetables. Now, the onions are perfect on the burger, and they use an entire slab of onion. So cut this about 3/16 of an inch thick. The inner parts get used for the burger, and the outer parts get used for this. Dice those up because they have to be the size of the patty. The outer pieces of the onion, the top and bottom, aren't going to be as thick. So you basically just take those couple slices, dice them up, and we're going to use those to make our caramelized grilled onions. Now, this is going to take a while. I mean, like half an hour, 40 minutes. Put a little butter in here, a little bit of salt, and just let them sit. Cover them at first, but don't walk away too far. You're doing this low and slow. You're going to stir these every few minutes. After a half an hour, this is what they are going to look like. They're going to look perfect. They're going to look amazing. They're going to taste good. And it's spot on their flavor, basically. And that's pretty much what you're going to be doing for half an hour or 40 minutes of your day. The other thing that they are so good at is their tomatoes and the hand leaf lettuce. They're real proud of this. We're just going to slice the tomatoes up here in 3/16 as well. The size of these is pretty important. You want to make sure that they look pretty much just like that right there. The iceberg lettuce is going to get hand leafed and ready for assembly. Just set that aside and we're going to get moving on to the next thing. Hi folks, we're back. It is time to grind some meat. We're grinding our own meat because they grind their own meat. If you don't want to grind the meat, well then you're going to get this slightly wrong because they use a special blend. Well, they say it's 100% chuck. There's a little sirloin in there, some people say. Companies say a lot of things, and sometimes they throw you off with their statements. I'm not saying they are, but they might be. It is possible. I have a chuck roast here, and we're going to use this as our meat. It's got a nice bit of marbling to it, which is going to be lovely, but we need to cut this up so that we can get it into the meat grinder. I have the meat grinder attachment on the mixer. Yes, it's so fancy. It's crazy fancy. I'm just going to slice this off basically into chunks that will fit inside of there. There you go. I'm wearing the gloves because this is something that has to be done very, very carefully. Meat like this, when you start grinding it up, you start pushing everything on the outside inside. That's when people get sick. And it's a burger. So that would suck if you got sick from a burger. So don't do that. This is basically the size that will fit in here. So we're going to do that. I'm going to hit the button over here. And meat is going to start coming out of this thing. Hopefully this camera is going to catch that. I think it is. There we go. I'm going to just cut fast because this won't take too terribly long. I have the medium holes in here. Oh yeah, there she goes. That's perfect. There's 3 different plates for this one. There's fine, there's coarse, and then there's medium. I'm using the medium because it will give me a medium grind, which is a perfect grind for this sort of thing. Our chuck roast here is 2.5 pounds, so we're going to get a lot of meat out of this. This is going to make a lot of double doubles. Do not put your finger in this thing because you can lose a finger. It will just grab and rip your finger off, and fingers make terrible burgers. That's why they include this thing to go in here to push this down. But I need to be cutting because this is going to go quickly. Okay. So we have all of our meat here, and we're going to have a bunch of this stuck in here because it won't keep feeding. So what's the secret for that? If you're not familiar with how a meat grinder works, then this will seem weird, but this really does work. You just have to be quick on the button to shut this off the minute you see bread coming out. I think that's about it right there. It's just got a little tan there. All right, I'm gonna call that. But if we weighed that, we got just about 2.5 pounds, and this thing's now full of bread instead of our wonderful, amazing meat. That's basically that. I'm gonna get the scale out to change all this stuff because this is taking up all my real estate, and we'll be back in 1 second as I start making our patties. All right, we are back, and I'm changing gloves. I've cleaned up. We're ready to go. Our meat is still cold. It's been super, super fast. Let's make some little meatballs and smash some burgers up. Now, these are not smashed like a normal smash burger. These are pre-smashed. They use a machine and makes perfect patties every time. I don't have one of those machines, and I'm not investing in one just to make this one video. I mean, I like you guys and all, but come on, I'm not spending like $20 on a stupid little burger press that I'm only going to use once because I personally, I'm not in the production business when it comes to this, so we're not doing that. All right, so 2 ounces is the size of their meatballs. Their patties are 2 ounces. That's 2.1. We don't want, there we go, that's 2 perfectly. Okay, so we're going to take this, we're going to squish this up into a meatball, and we are going to form this. With this, we're just going to make a ton of meatballs now that I know the exact size of this meatball. Yes, my counters are clean. I just cleaned that counter. Okay, that's the size of our patty. That's crazy. They're small. So we're going to do this with a bunch of them. Now that I know the size, let's see how close I can get. Now, it's time to smash these things. I've got 8 of them made up here. That'll make a few of these burgers. So I have 2 pieces of wax paper here. Basically, we are just going to smash them down a little bit more than that because these do shrink up a little bit as they cook. We're going a little bigger than that still. There you go. She's looking pretty good. A little extra. Okay, so that's 1. All right. Next. Perfect. Here's our stack of burgers. That's pretty much the way you're going to find them when you get them. And they just peel them off, take them out of the fridge, peel them off, and throw them down, cook them up. That's kind of what we're going to do. I'm going to put these back in the fridge right now while we reset and get ready to start cooking them. And we're almost going to eat. Now that we've done all the hard work, this is kind of the easy part here. We know how to do this. This is just cooking a burger. So the important thing is you have to toast the buns. They have to have a little bit of crisp on the edges. So I got a little butter in the pan, and those are just going. Now I've got my patties here. This is going in a smoking hot cast iron pan because I don't have a big old griddle. If you do, you can do this all at once. The seasoning on this, they use salt, pepper, and a couple other things is what they say. So basically, it's a seasoning salt sort of thing. It gives you about the right flavor. That's been my experience. They add a couple of mystery things in there. Cook that on one side. Now we flip it over. Now this is weird. They do this thing. They fold the cheese about a ½ inch over, and they put that on top of the patty as it's cooking. This is to create what's known as a burger smile. This makes it look really, really thick. You also put the onion on at this point because the onion's supposed to flavor all of this and give it a kind of a funky, cool thing. that don't take long to cook because they're only 2 ounces, and that is how you make a double-double. We're going to do that again with a slight variation on this. I'm going to put these in here on a different spot of the pan because this spot is hotter now because it didn't have a burger on it 2 seconds ago. We're going to season these up with the same seasoning salt, and we're going to put the cheese down the exact same way, but we're going to throw the onion in to grill it up just a little bit while this is cooking, and it's really, really awesome to do this. We're going to put the cheese down here, same way, fold it, burger smile, all that good stuff. It's getting a little hot in that pan, so I'm controlling the heat a little bit. But yeah, just keep track of which side has the thick part because that is important. You can see that onion's already getting a little bit of color on it, a little caramelization. That is wonderful flavor. Oh man. And basically that is it. That onion is going to go on top of our cheese. And we're going to take these out and we are going to start assembling some burgers because then we get to eat them. Everything is actually cooked. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this because I love In Out. And if you know In Out, then you love this too, and you're as excited as I am. We've got our spread here. We're going to dope the buns up. I believe that's what it's called when you do this to them. Yes, it goes on the bottom only. Now, oh, look at that big old salsa tomato. Yeah, that's perfect. It's perfect. We're going to get our hand-leaf lettuce on here and make these so pretty. Okay, that needs to be a little bit smaller because there you go. And yes, I'm making double the double-doubles, in case you were wondering. That is double-doubles. Now, the way this, if you haven't had this, it's weird. Okay, so this goes on. The onion in the middle, burger patty on top, and there's a thick side of the cheese that is known as the burger smile right there. You know why they call it the burger smile? Because it's smiling at you. Yeah. Now this one has a slightly grilled onions and our burger smile, and we have the second one. You have to make sure you line these up. If you don't, you're in big trouble and you didn't do it the right way. Little extra cheese, never hurt anybody. There we go. That is amazing. And toasted buns. See the little toasty buns? Oh, that is incredibly important. Not heavily buttered, but just crispy around the edges. That is how you make a double-double from In Out. Oh, and it's perfect. It's got the, oh yeah, it does. That is double the double-doubles right there. And you can take that to the bank or wherever you want to. If you take that to the bank, just know they're going to want to eat it because that stuff is more valuable than the green things that they have. This is amazing and everyone loves In Out so much, and the reason why is because it is just so pure and so awesome and it's so simple, but it's perfect. It's even more perfect if you put the burger diaper on it. Now the burger diaper is critical to this because can you see this? This sucker is sliding on me. See that? The burger diaper has to come around just perfectly, just like this, out the back and up and around. Burger diaper. Okay. Anybody who's ever eaten at In Out knows that that's what that looks like right there. That is it perfectly. I'm going to, okay, maybe it's not exactly perfectly. I never worked at In Out. So the folding of the burger diaper, I'm just assuming, but I have one trick up my sleeve and you gotta see this, it's really cute. Hold on one second. In all my exhaustive research on how to do this, and yes, I had to eat there many, many, many times for this, I saved one of these. Yes, so I can take and put my burger in their double-double sleeve, which doesn't fit as well because I didn't fold my diaper up right. Never had kids, not good with diapers. Well, of course I never had kids. That would be weird. But yeah, there is, I'm sorry, is that not a double-double? Come on, it is. Look at that. It's perfect, it's amazing, it's incredible, and doggone it, I'm gonna eat that in 2 seconds. Let's see if I can burger diaper this even better. What if you did it like this? Oh yeah, there you go. That's the way you're supposed to do that. I had that completely wrong the first time. You got your burger smile facing out forward. You got to make sure the thick part of the cheese, you saw me fold that in there. Oh yeah, there it is. That is how you diaper them. Yeah, you triangle it. What was I thinking? I did it all wrong. It's perfect. That was it. There's a couple of double doubles. My name is Bill. You just watched me do this, and I am so friggin' proud of myself because that is one of the greatest iconic burgers in America today, and I get to eat it now. Yeah, I'm gonna eat that. But before I bite into that, I have a special bonus round because, hey, I like you guys, and give me 2 seconds and I will come back. We will reset slightly and I will show you something really, really cool. Hold on. All right, I told you there's a extra special bonus round for this. Guess what it is, folks? Yeah, it's fries. I didn't make my fries the way they make their fries because, like I said before, their fries suck. They don't make fries in the correct manner. Everybody equally admits their fries are terrible. I don't think there's a single person on this planet that says, wow, they're the best fries. They just don't. I think at this point it's just such a tradition they can't change them, but I bet they wish they could. So here are some shoestring fries made in a correct manner, which is they're frozen fries that I put in the deep fryer. So these are awesome, and the other thing that In Out always does is salt the crap out of them. They are good at salting them, and there's usually way too many. So that is a basket of In Out fries. Now I don't have the actual basket with the palm trees on it, the whole thing. What is this basket? Oh, I don't know. What's the one thing that everybody knows about the secret menu? The animal style burger with the mustard and the whole thing. Yeah, we're not doing that. What we are doing is animal fries. Oh yeah, I'm doing animal fries. What does that mean? Animal fries is hot fries, nice and seasoned. We have a slice of American cheese going on this. We have our grilled onions going on this because that's friggin' crazy. Yeah, that's insane. That is so good, so yummy. Can't wait for that. And douse it in spread. Now the thing about these is that these are almost better through the drive-thru than they are if you eat in the restaurant. Normally they were always just drive-thru places, but they started putting actual restaurants and seats in and things like that. And there's some locations, I believe in Lake Forest, California, it's the only one that doesn't actually have a drive-thru. And it's not really an in and out, it's an in and eat and then out. But yeah, it's kind of funny. It might be Laguna Hills. I think it's on the other side of the freeway. Anyways, place I used to live, so that's why I know that. Fun fact. Ha ha. Anyways, this is animal fries. There's the regular fries. We grab the burgers again here, and I'm gonna bite this thing. Okay, folks. That is way too pretty to bite into. So that one right there is, there's your thumbnail shot. I'm gonna grab the other one. That one, way too pretty to bite into. This is like biting into the Mona Lisa or something. It's like, you don't do that. Oh, it's got the cheese paper on it. Oh, if you know In and Out, you know what cheese paper is. I'm so excited about this. Seriously, folks, can't tell you. You have to use the diaper because this thing is a mess. But I'm gonna take a bite because I'm so hot. Are you kidding me? That's 100%. Okay, the bun is a little softer in there. That sponge bread bun really holds up perfectly. That's a little softer. Other than that, that's 100% In and Out burger right there. Oh, that is missing nothing. So next time you need In and Out and you don't have In and Out anywhere near you, In and Out is always with you because you know how to make this. I showed you how to do this. This is really not that hard. You can do this, and then you have In and Out in your house any time of the day, even if you don't live in one of the 5, 7 states where they make this stuff, where they sell it. You can actually have that one off again. Okay. That one off again. That's hilarious. That thing just does that now. Anyways, this is In and Out episode. That's everything you need to know. My name's Bill. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.